So, that's what I got done early, early with the stuff. So, basically, I got to my computer early and was ready to stream early. So, I used my desktop audio um, at the same time as my mic, and it like did a loop thing, and I just started tapping, and then eventually it got to this crazy like sound where it's a whole bunch of just random taps. I think it's pretty funny. But anyways, that's just a little intro. I'm gonna start over here on the main screen. I gotta turn that down. Okay, great. Hello there. My name is Jasom Jensai. If you haven't met me, and this stream is all about the Bad Batch. Also, I do have a big announcement that I'm gonna do at the end of the stream, but I'll get to that later. But before we get to all the stuff in this stream, which is pretty much just Bad Batch, we gotta do the question of the stream, like always. So the rules for the question of the stream is only the first person who guesses gets it right, or that's not true. If you're the first person to guess, you don't automatically get it right. Let's start over. So the first person to get it right gets the points. You only get one guess though, so you can't just guess over and over and over. And the last rule is you can't look it up. Yeah, so for getting the question of the stream right, you get 10 points. So yeah, that's question of the stream. Oh, I forgot to read the question. Man, I'm forgetting a whole lot of things. That's fine though. It's a stream. So the question is, what culture other than Zygerians frequently utilize energy bows with purple bolts? So obviously we see Omega in this episode has the bow with that shoots purple energy bolts, and when I saw the trailer, I actually thought it was from this culture basically. They come from a like specific planet, specific species, kind of. If you know, you probably know. I don't know if you're. I don't know. It's not worded super clearly, but you'll probably know if you know the answer. Yeah, so that's the question. If you know that, leave it in the chat, leave it in the comments. Whoever gets the first gets the points. With that, let's move on to the main topic of the show, which is Bad Batch, Episode 6. Super excited for this, because I actually enjoyed the episode, and I haven't been enjoying the last two. If you've seen my other ones, you've seen my reviews. I've been warming up to it a little bit with Episode 5, but yeah, so the first thing I want to talk about is Wrecker's broken ship. Is that the first thing I want to talk about? Yeah, let's talk about Wrecker. So, Wrecker bumps his head again, and this time it's all but confirmed that his Order 66 chip is acting up, because he's like laying on the ground muttering, "Good soldiers follow orders," and I don't know. There's not too much to say because I've been suspecting. Everyone's been suspecting that it's the chip for who knows how long. But yeah. Oh, yeah. So that is that thing that I wanted to quick mention. Other than that, it's still a pretty fillery episode. They are advancing the plot of they're meeting more people, but like that plot doesn't have like a big ending other than those characters are going to come back. But that's more character than plot, though. I don't know. I just feel the show is still a bit directionless, is how I'll say it. But on the other hand, it's still a good show, and I think I'm warming up to it and just kind of settling in for the ride because it is going to be a more filler show with lots of you do the mission and then you come back and there you go. That's the episode. It's going to be that kind of show, and I just got to get used to that. Not every show is going to be like a Star Wars, like a Rebels. The Clone Wars kind of, this is a bit more like Clone Wars than Rebels, but you know what? Well, even Rebels had filler though. Not every show or not every episode is going to be like the finale. I don't know why they don't just make the shows more condensed, but in Star Wars they tend to have a lot of filler episodes. Yeah, so didn't really like that, but at the same time, I still appreciated the episode because I'm getting used to it. There are a few nitpicks I have, and then I'll move on to the other part of the show that's pretty interesting. So first one is all about bows and draw weights. So Omega's practicing with her bow, and she's not doing very well. But at the end, Sid walks out and is like, "Well, you're holding it. You need to be stronger so you can hold the bowstring back longer." And that just doesn't make any sense. So if it's like a modern bow, granted, I don't have much experience or knowledge about modern bows, but I'm pretty sure the draw weight isn't that much. So you're not really going to be struggling unless you're pretty weak. And like I said, I don't know that much about modern bows. Maybe they're more similar to older bows than I thought, but that's from what I understand. So either that's not a problem, like if the modern bow, or if it's like an older bow, like say a medieval bow or whatever, which I am mildly interested in medieval stuff. So I do watch. There's a channel called Shadiversity. Shout out to him. He's awesome. He also does Star Wars stuff, by the way. So if you want to just watch his Star Wars stuff, or if you just want to subscribe to his channel, maybe just check him out. I don't know. He's a good watch. But of course, I do kind of have to say, finish this one first. You don't have to, but you know what I mean. Anyways, let's get back on track. Longbows. So I do watch a bunch of his longbow videos. He recently started getting really into those. And the draw weights are pretty significant, like 70 pounds on the low end and like 100 pounds on the high end. And that's just some of them. Like, it obviously depends on where and when and all that stuff, but they're pretty heavy. Like, you got to hold that back. You're not going to be able to hold that for a long time. I believe when he did, I don't remember if he did it with like a 70 or 80 or his 100 or whatever. But either way, he built up to the 100. So by the time he got there, his 70 and 80 was easier. So where and when also kind of, not so much when, but or not so much where, when kind of plays into this too. So yeah, he could only hold the bow back for like, I think it was like 6 seconds or something. It was not long. And that's because if the draw weight is that much, which it has to be in order to like do damage, it has to be really heavy. But in order to do that, you can't hold it back long. So the advice I would give to Omega is not be stronger. The advice I would give is don't hold it back for so long because your arms are shaking. And if your arms are shaking, you can't aim. So that's a very long-winded way of saying, yeah, that doesn't make any sense if you consider bows. Whether it's a new bow, then it's not a problem. Or if it's an old bow, I should say, it's not old, obviously. Well, it is, obviously, because it's a long time ago, but with modern technology, yeah. You know what I mean. You know, Star Wars is weird. It's got modern technology or beyond our understanding technology and a long time ago. Anyways, it looks like a modern bow, but it seems to operate like a medieval bow. So, yeah, that's my rant about bows and stuff. I have 2 other ones. The next one is when they're sneaking around before the police droids find them, they sneak around and ambush a bunch of droids. Or no, they ambush the workers, my bad. They ambush a bunch of workers, and they don't get seen. Good stealth, right? But they're forgetting about cameras. Surely they'd have some cameras there, like somewhere, but they just sneak around everywhere. Number 3 is, since when do tactical droids like directly control the battle droids, super battle droids? Like in the Phantom Menace, the ship blows up and all the droids shut down. I don't think tactical droids are supposed to be like that. I mean, maybe they are, but from what I've seen, you kill the tactical droid and the droid, they're just like, oh, okay, I guess we don't have the commander. But I don't know. Maybe they have this weird power they can activate them, and obviously they could give them orders. But I don't know. It's just one of those things that's like, it doesn't really matter that much, but like, if you really want to like make everything be logically consistent, you could just not do that, and you would think with all the people working there, they would realize, and maybe I'm wrong. After all, there are a lot of people working there, and they're all smarter than me. Then again, though, they are doing a lot of Star Wars, or they're making a lot of Star Wars, and they're probably crunched for time. They can't catch everything. One more nitpick. I just thought of this one, or not just thought of it, but was just reminded of it. Is that Rafa and Trace seem to be shooting not quite as good as the Bad Batch, but about as good. And this can be kind of explained by Hunter and Tech. Their specialty isn't shooting. Hunter is a tracker, Tech is a tech guy, and then Echo, of course, while he's a good shot, he's not like engineered for it or whatever. Then you've got Wrecker, who is unconscious for most of the battle, and also is more strong than a good shooter. Although he is a good shooter. I like that about him. Because obviously if you're just strong, you're just going to get shot. That's kind of the way it is with blasters. Unless you're a Jedi, then you can dodge. But then you're really more fast and strong. So, anyways, I go down a lot of tangents. Anyways, that itself was a tangent. Great. That itself was a tangent. I got a new loop. Okay, great. Focus. So, the one who is probably the best shot is, of course, Crosshair, who isn't here. And I really love that they addressed that in this episode with how their strategy was like, Wrecker was like, how come I got to go up there? That's Crosshair's job. Like, missing a key part of your strategy is clearly difficult for the team. But yeah, let's talk about Trace and Rafa showing up. So, in the Return of the Clone Wars, there was a 4-episode chunk that seemingly nobody liked about Ahsoka meeting up with Trace and Rafa. And if they show up in the show more, I think that could get redeemed as not just like showing, oh, Ahsoka's realizing that she's actually a Jedi, even though she's technically not one. And, oh, Ahsoka's seeing that the war is from, like, you know what I mean? Like, there are ways you can defend it, but really it's just kind of, you shouldn't have to defend it. It should just be good on its own, if that makes any sense. And if they add more, then it's not just because Ahsoka needed it or because whatever you want to say. It's because Trace and Rafa needed to be set up so that they would come into Bad Batch. Of course, if they're just a one-time appearance, forget everything I just said. It's still just a mediocre 4 episodes amongst 2 other ones. One that exemplifies the Clone Wars and one that is just good Star Wars. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on Trace and Rafa showing up. As for the way they did it, that's pretty cool. I mean, seeing them, like, taking a droid head, joining the rebellion, that also makes sense. I like that. Apparently, there is a droid that used to belong to Ahsoka. I don't know all the details on that. You should probably watch, like, Star Wars Theories Breakdown or something for that. I'm guessing he covers it. I have not seen it yet, though. I know Thor Skywalker mentioned it. I saw his video. But he didn't go into a ton of detail. But anyways, this droid apparently could link them to Ahsoka, and maybe Ahsoka shows up. I personally don't want Ahsoka to be... Here, let me... So there's the person with the hologram at the end that the droid... That Trace and Ralph asked the droid to shoot out of his face or whatever. But we don't see who it is. So that's what I'm talking about now. Anyways, I don't really want Ahsoka to be that person because at this point, according to the book called Ahsoka, she should be just laying low, going to farm or whatever, just getting jobs, usually as a pilot or a mechanic or something, because obviously. But she shouldn't be part of the rebellion at this point. That comes later, like much later. So I don't know. Like it could happen. They've already retconned some of that, the like prologue to it, or some parts of it. I don't remember where exactly in the book it is. I think it's just the prologue. There might be some epigraphs though. Anyways, the prologue is part of the Siege of Mandalore, where Ahsoka leaves behind her lightsabers, basically just to prove that she's dead or whatever when she's really not. And that's the explanation they give for her not having her lightsabers. And they're green lightsabers. And there's just a bunch of tiny details, but it doesn't really spoil too much. And then we see the actual version with the Clone Wars, and it's completely different, and it doesn't fit. Then in Bad Batch, you have Kanan Jarrus. So there was a comic, which I haven't read, but I knew it existed. There was a comic about Kanan Jarrus and Deepa Billaba and what happens to them during Order 66. And that entire thing is retconned. Maybe not the entire thing. Like I said, I haven't read it. There might be like parts before and parts after that aren't retconned. But, like, why do they even have Kanan in the show? Like, what's the point? It wasn't even that well done. But I'm getting on another tangent. What am I talking about? I think I got from Trace and Rafa. Trying to trace my way back to where I was in the one-sided conversation. Anyways, I'll just go back to talking about Bad Batch. Just huge jump backwards. So yeah, it was a pretty good episode. Pretty filler, but I enjoyed it. The action was good. Mostly anyway. I like seeing Trace and Rafa. I feel like they picked them up from where they almost picked them up from where they left off, but they developed a little bit. You could tell, like, Trace was a little bit more responsible, and Rafa was a little bit more, I guess, willing to sacrifice for others. But they were mostly the same. I feel like they nailed their characters pretty well. Yeah, it was just a good episode. Progressed the plot just a tiny bit, like the other ones have been doing, which at this point is kind of what I'm expecting. So yeah, that's, I think, all I have to say about Bad Batch, at least this episode. Unless you've got you guys in the chat, my analytics thing here is telling me that one other person joined, so hello to you. I don't know how accurate this thing is. It doesn't seem to be very accurate. My phone, which I also have, oh, it is accurate. Apparently, there's a disagreement about how many likes there are. Let me know in the chat, how many likes do you see on the video? Does it say 3 or 2? Because my, like, streaming software, not the streaming software, like the inbuilt YouTube software, says 2 likes, but my phone, which I have it pulled up on my phone as well, says 3 likes. So let me know what your phone or computer says in the chat. Obviously, you don't have to, but, and if you're watching after the show, I mean, you can, but it's, yeah, you know what I mean. You know how YouTube works, right? Anyways, that's all I have for talking about Bad Batch. Good episode, but still kind of filler. So, yeah. So, did I I think I did. Okay, moving on to this big announcement I was talking about. Let me do this. Okay, so, like 9 months ago or whatever, at the beginning of the school year, I made a video called like Q&A and farewell or something. And basically I said, yeah, I'm ending YouTube videos for now. I plan to come back in the summer, and guess what? That's here. Technically not quite yet here, because you gotta wait until next Friday. That's when it's coming out. But it is coming this next week. Hope like this is gonna be the last stream before it comes. I mean, I might do another stream right before or something. Probably not. I don't get enough views for that. Hey, pay me more, I'll do it. Not the money, it's the reactions. Like, no one would come to laughter. But anyways, obviously some people would, but I mean, no one chats. Sorry, guys, you don't chat. I mean, if you could prove me wrong right now, that'd be pretty great. But anyways, tangent again. Let's move back. So Star Wars Duels is coming back. I believe the first one that's coming out, I'm just gonna look it up. This is not planned or anything. But first one that's coming out, I believe it is Quinlan Voss versus Kit Fisto. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's right. Loading. Yes, that is the first one coming out. Quinlan Voss versus Kit Fisto. That's what's coming. It's pretty cool. I don't know what else to say. It's just Star Wars Duels is back. I'm excited. I mean, I've been excited for a while. I've been working on videos and stuff, but you know, I'm excited that it's actually coming out. I hope you'll watch those. I hope you leave comments. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Do I have anything else to say? Do you have anything else to say? I'm excited for Star Wars. There's so much series is coming out that I'm excited for. It's a good galaxy. So yeah, that's where I think I'm going to end the stream. Unless you guys have any more you want to say. But that's, I think, all I've got for now. So see you then. May the Force be with you.